Thomas Kinnear and Nancy Montgomery lived a quiet life on their farm. On July 18, 1843, they were both viciously murdered by two of their servants. They were buried on the grounds of the Richmond Hill Presbyterian Church. Since their deaths, numerous people have reported experiencing paranormal activity around the murder site.
Thomas Kinnear was a wealthy farmer in Richmond Hill. He was murdered along with his housekeeper, and I believe she was his wife by that time. They were brutally murdered. Grace Marks, who was a cook and maid, wherever, she was accused of the murder, and she did serve time. The murder would have been very difficult for her to commit. There was too much offensive brutality that took place. A handyman, James McDermott, was eventually charged with the murder and was hanged as a result of his part in the murder. Grace went on to live as she was released and pardoned. She moved to the United States in New York State and lived out the balance of her life there.
Although cemetery records show that Nancy and Thomas were buried on the church grounds, no one has been able to find the exact location of the graves, but it's rumored they're buried in the southwest corner of the cemetery in unmarked graves in a north-south position instead of the normal east-west.
It was a form of disgrace. They were, as I said, he was wealthy, and Richmond Hill wouldn't have had probably more than 200 people at the time. When Thomas Kinnear's wife died and he eventually married or was a partner to Nancy Montgomery, the result was that they were abandoned by the community because she wasn't worthy of them.
It's said ghosts are the disembodied souls of those who died violently, but Presbyterians believe something different.
Presbyterians really tend to think of humans as a whole, and we spend more of our time thinking about that person rather than what should happen to them in the afterlife. We also don't particularly believe in a soul. We believe in resurrection, and by resurrection we mean that in some way, shape or form, at the end of days when all the earthly history rolls to an end, that we will be resurrected and become part of the community of God in heaven.
Residents living in the area Nancy died have their own opinion of ghosts.
I've been in the shower and the plumbing turns off, but it'll be the only house on the block. And then there's nothing wrong and it's back a few seconds later. I'll feel cold air pass behind me. I don't go to the park often. It kind of freaks me out after being in the house and getting all the weird experiences there. But sometimes I'll go with the neighbors, and it seems pretty normal. Just they say not to go there at night. It gets a little spooky. I've talked to most of the people, and they definitely all agree that the Montgomerys are still around.
The existence of ghosts has never been proven, but those living in the area the farm once stood believe Nancy's spirit has never left.
I definitely think I do believe in ghosts now.
I've never met a ghost. I've never met a ghost. I've never heard of a ghost. I've heard of ghosts, yes, but I've never been haunted. I like to think that perhaps we don't know as much about the universe as we really proclaim we know, but very much it's a mystery.